Hi guys, and welcome to an Aspie's Point of View, where I give you my opinion on stuff. Today is about Abby Miller and her legal troubles. She has been indicted for fraud, bankruptcy fraud, as a matter of fact. So, breaking it all down, because I did read the entire court document. Basically, the indictment states that in 2010, before the show aired, Abby Miller filed for bankruptcy. And part of her bankruptcy agreement was that she was to only have one account for all of her funds to go into. And, she was to follow certain procedures. And when she refiled an amendment to her bankruptcy to try to get out of bankruptcy, she was found to have been fraudulently reporting. The judge in her bankruptcy case had been watching TV, and he saw her ads for The Maniac is Back and her ads for Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition, and he started thinking, there's something going on here. She's making more money than she's letting on. What Abby was saying was that there was no guarantee of any future TV show income, that the financial state of the TV show was volatile and she wasn't being paid, and that she had, basically everything with the show was up in the air, which was not true. There were contracts, and she had stated many times that there were no contracts. Once that judge mentioned what was going on, and mentioned that he had some suspicions, Abby actually came forward with an additional $288,000 of income. So she did kind of confess and say, look, here's an additional lot of money here. But at that point in time, it was not really broached as a topic. Instead of the original plans, the court filed amended plans so that all of the creditors would be paid in full rather than over a period of 5 years, basically making sure that Abby would fulfill her promises because they expressed concern about, quote, the debtor's good faith. But at that point in time, they weren't really talking fraud, it didn't seem like. But more things were found. There were actually emails that were referenced in the indictment that said, let's make money and keep me out of jail in the subject line. There were sub-accounts that were, one was No More Tears Company, the other was an Abby Miller company, and these were companies that Abby was funneling money through, depositing checks into, etc., so that she wasn't being documented for all of the money that she had. There was times that Abby was asking Collins Avenue to deposit checks or to make checks out to her mother, Mrs. Miller, who fans came to love on the show and, really care for. And as it turns out, Abby was using her own mother to defraud the government, putting, thousands of dollars into her mother's checking account, which she claimed she only had access to care for her ailing mother. I mean, this woman, reading the indictment, I was floored. I was just floored. I could not believe some of these things. And I mean, yeah, she plays a villain on TV and a dang good one. But I really thought that there was some acting involved. I really did. And reading this indictment, it's scary. I mean, she had a check for studio improvements that was written in January. She deposited it in December, the day that her bankruptcy was released. It was a hefty, hefty check. These are things that are big. These are not little nothings that we're talking about. This is big stuff, and it's stuff that, you know, it could land her in jail for a very long time. And as someone who has, I will admit, watched Dance Moms from the beginning, not so much for the drama. Actually, I don't like the drama very much, but I love watching the girls dance. I danced for 20 years and still do dance, and I love it. And I loved watching the girls dance every week. But one thing that I always used to say was, I appreciate my dance teacher so much because of how much she loved us, because she never treated us that way. And seeing all this now coming out, it's like, people keep saying couldn't have happened to a nicer person. It's karma. But in all honesty, I mean, it just shows her true colors. It's not even that it's karma. It's not even couldn't have happened to a nicer person. She did this to herself. I mean, she was defrauding the government on purpose. And if there's any doubt of that, it's in the email when she said, let's make money and keep me out of jail. It was clear. It was crystal clear. And so, at this point, my thoughts are with all of the students that go to the dance studio, both in LA and in Pennsylvania, hoping that they can continue their dance training, even though these legal issues are going on. It would be really a shame for these girls to lose their home, their studio, because of what's going on. But, in all honesty, she did this to herself, and that's my point of view. I mean, she did it to herself. You don't commit fraud for bankruptcy while having several shows on the television. It just doesn't work. Judges are not stupid. People are not stupid. And this judge proved it. He saw the commercials and he said, there's a problem here. And now she's in a heck of a lot of trouble. So, again, my thoughts are not so much with Abby right now. They're with her girls. And my hope is just that, if these studios do get shut down, that these girls find somewhere else to dance and can continue to foster their love for it, because that's what's most important right now. And Abby, your legal problems are really at this point your fault. Entirely and totally. Till next time, this was an Aspie's point of view. Bye, guys.